All of us know very well why we watch The Dark Crystal and The Age of Resistance. Wonderful characters, deep mythology, wisdom, lessons we can and should adapt to our own world, and of course, the fantastic, rich, and vibrant world of Thra. But how many of you have actually asked yourselves, why is it called the Dark Crystal? What does it mean? And what is the crystal itself? In this video, I will explain the properties, history, and meaning behind the Great Crystal of Truth. Long before the Urskeks ever set foot on Thra, Thra itself was created. Like any other planet, just like ours, it formed from cosmic dust, fiery ash, and molten rock, carved and molded by gravity until the three suns began to give it life. But something unique about this world was that at its heart, for that is what it was, stood a giant crystal, humming, beating, and emanating powerful energies all throughout the lands, giving life and souls to all creatures. This period, before the Urskeks arrived, was called the Age of Innocence. At this time, the crystal was known only to a very few, and adopted the name the Great Crystal, a simple yet meaningful title, and with it came a simple life, reverberating its energies throughout the planet, keeping balance, and silently watching over all life. Sometime later, the crystal began to actually feel the sorrow of the many rocks and trees in Thra, for they did not have a voice and could not see. And so, the crystal commanded Thra to create Mother Aughra, who would act as a humanoid emissary for all inanimate objects. For many Trine, Aughra lived in peace with all of the inhabitants of the vast lands, creatures and Gelfling alike, until one day, 1,000 Trine after the formation of Thra, the Great Crystal was suddenly struck by the rays of the first great conjunction of the planet. Through an incredible beam of solar light, the fallen Urskeks arrived on Thra, blinding one of Aughra's eyes in the process. Immediately, they promised gifts, and they assured they had arrived in peace, and came bearing knowledge and wisdom to further advance civilization on this planet. But what they were truly interested in was the Great Crystal. And thus began the Age of Harmony. This crystal of Thra was indeed very special, and one of the many crystals scattered throughout the universe. It was quartz-like in shape, with rhomboidal bases and threefold symmetry. But what was so unique about it was its spiral properties, which allowed it to rotate the plane of polarization of a beam of polarized light. So what this means is that during a great conjunction, the crystal could literally untwist light in such a way that it could focus and concentrate the power into a strong beam of energy. This energy could be used for transportation and transformation. The crystal itself was originally encased in a mountain deep within the Ba-Lem Valley. But when the Age of Harmony began with the arrival of the Urskeks, the star beings sang to the mountain, demolishing it, and revealing the crystal to the blue skies of Thra for the first time. Soon after, the Urskeks constructed an immense crystal fortress which surrounded the crystal, modeled on the architecture of their home world, and agreed to keep it safe, becoming the new protectors of what they now called the Pure Crystal. Another 999 and 1 Trine later, the Urskeks were preparing to return home again by purifying their souls in the light of the Second Great Conjunction. But unfortunately, an Urskek named Darkheart fully gave into his evil nature and corrupted the rays of the suns. Instead of purifying their souls, they were ripped apart, torn into two new beings of Thra, the evil Skeksis and the peaceful Uru. Immediately giving in to their demonic nature, one of the Skeksis took up a rod and smashed the Great Crystal with such a force that a single shard broke off, falling beneath the castle forever. But this crack, it was far more than simply a superficial injury. This missing piece completely threw the crystal and its beating heart out of balance. Because the symmetry had now been shifted, the spiral connection to the light was lost, and the crystal could no longer focus the rays of the Great Conjunctions, trapping the Urskex on Thra, and severely damaging the heart of the world. Many trine later, during the Age of Division, the Skeksis, who were now the keepers and lords of the crystal, discovered that this loss of the spiral connection had actually created a brand new way for light to enter the crystal, a darker way. Through capturing the rays of the sun's lesser conjunctions, a more malevolent energy began to flow from it, one that the Skeksis believed they could utilize to prolong their lives. But this abuse of the crystal was not without consequence, as these actions, this evil energy, is what caused the darkening to manifest and begin to spread like a virus through the earth. This darkening is what caused the crystal to actually turn purple, reflecting its corruption, and bestowing the great gem with its final name, the Dark Crystal. So, now you can see why Aughra was so troubled, how Thra was thrown out of balance, why crops died and animals and beings turned completely mad. And most important, we can now understand why it is so vital for this shard to be reunited. The Gelfling resistance is not just about bringing everyone together under one banner or equalizing all life. It is so much bigger. Jen's quest is not simply for Thra, but for the star beings that so painfully wish to return home again. The Urskex and the Skeksis have taken this planet so far off course, and now it is time for them to return home, restoring Thra to its original state with its original inhabitants, erasing their disease and eradicating their dark fate.